So this comes down to like a lack of confidence and self-belief, right? Now, you mentioned in your blog post that tracking and celebrating small victories is really important to build confidence, right? So if you're working with a person that's struggling with social anxiety, what would you really consider like a real victory, and how do they track that in a way that helps them build confidence?
Depending on how severe the social anxiety is, so if somebody who's very severe, I will have them, let's say if I'm working with a teenager or an adult, I say, okay, when you go to school, I want you to grade 3 people that you don't know. Okay. And then I'll say document it and track it. Because over time we're going to increase the number. Right? Well then before you know it, I say I want you, oh, you have a class presentation coming up. This is fantastic. I want you to present in the class. I want you to talk about how you felt, and then I want you to write it down. For adults, I'll have them attend a networking group or something and speak in front of the group and what have you not. And so just slowly build their confidence. And what happens over time, if they follow the protocol, is that they become more comfortable talking to people and meeting people, you know, before we take it to the next stage. So these are examples of tracking small victories.
Okay. Now, like when it comes down to a victory, like you suggest, someone smiles back at you or like, says hi, like, would you go down to the smallest bits of those interactions? Like, in what case would one might consider like an actual victory? Because sometimes, if you're really struggling with social anxiety, you might say, oh yeah, he's just, smiling because he wants to be nice. Or she said, you know what I mean? Right? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So how do you get past that?
So it's not so much as to the person's reaction. So if you say hello to a girl and she smiles back at you, that's very nice. But it's more of you engaging. The victory came that you engaged, and then you say to yourself, oh, that wasn't so bad. Right? That's where the victory comes from, that you engage. No matter what the outcome is, you're actually going to be proud of yourself that you broke through that barrier and you engaged.
Okay, so it's all about like small progress, right? So obviously, if you've never even put yourself out there, you should still consider it a victory because you've done something now that you haven't done in the past. And then slowly you can build from there to like 2-minute conversations, 5-minute conversations, and eventually you're like longer conversations. So I guess it's a longer journey, right?
Yes.
Okay, now quick question: how long does it normally take for a person to break out of social anxiety?
If let's say if I go. If I have a client who's severe and we go twice a week, with intensity, in 3 months they're going to see notable progress.
Really?
In 6 months, the progress is going to be even more significant. We're going to be making progress. Best case scenario, by 10 months to 1 year, they're in a very good place. And this is for most cases. Everybody varies. Some people take longer. But in 10 months, they're in a very good place and they're in a very confident place.
Okay, and this is, like regardless of age, or is it specifically for the younger people?
Regardless of age.
Really?
Yeah.
So 1 year is not that long, to be honest, to really overcome this problem.
Yeah, it's all about intensity and putting yourself in those situations that you're afraid of.
Okay, so that should be pretty motivational for people to know that, because I mean, 1 year is obviously it's a long time, but it's not that long. It's not like It's not like a 10-year journey. You know what I mean?
It's not that long. What happens is some people are so hesitant that they pull back and they delay. Right. So if you pull back and delay, then your progress is going to be slow or stalled.
Okay.
But if you're intense about it and you're willing to put yourself out there, you absolutely will get better.